Hitler's definition of peace was identical to Mohammed's: surrender. Mein Kampf 599. Our peace is not supported by the palm branches of a tearful pacifist or professional female mourner, but is founded by the victorious sword of a people of overlords which put the world into the service of a higher culture. I don't think Neville Chamberlain read these words before he put Czechoslovakia into the service of the Nazis. Similarly, George Bush failed to heed Allah's words when he endeavored to sell out Israel.
Quran 47:33. Believers, obey Allah and obey the Messenger. Do not falter, become faint-hearted or weak-kneed, crying for peace. Quran 9:3. Allah is not bound by any contract or treaty with disbelievers, nor is his apostle.
Muhammad viewed surrender, submission, obedience, the payment of taxes, and the forfeiture of property as peace.
Tabari, peace to whoever follows the right guidance,
which is Islam, the Arabic word for surrender and submission.
To proceed, submit yourself, and you shall be safe. Tabari, the messenger of Allah besieged the Nadir Jews for 15 days. In the end, they made peace with him, on the condition that the prophet would not shed their blood, and that their property and possessions would be his.
Replace the Third Reich with Islam, German with Arab, and this passage could have been Quranic. Mein Kampf, page 600. We have a solemn duty to act as God's viceroy on earth and to be his partner in the divine government of men. The Third Reich's energies are expanded on a noble endeavor, the aggrandizement of the chosen German race. Mein Kampf 601. Our high mission is the benevolence of the Almighty. The German Reich must lead to a dominating position. If you were to distill the Medina Surahs and Sunnah down to a singular idea, this would be it. Who would have thought that we would find the central message of Islam summarized in Hitler's Mein Kampf?
Quran 8, verse 59. The infidel should not think that they can bypass Allah's law. Surely they cannot get away. Verse 8. Fight them until all opposition ends and all submit to Allah.
Mein Kampf 602. The fight must be carried out with unshakable persistence. We must be compelled to fight for the coming one, for the fighters' lives belong to the state. Since coming one was capitalized, Hitler was saying, I am the Messiah. You belong to me, and you must fight to make my dreams a reality. He was explaining Islam. Muhammad said it this way.
Quran 9, verse 111. Allah has purchased the believers, their lives and their goods. For them in return is the garden of paradise. If they fight in Allah's cause, they slay and are slain. They kill and are killed. Bukhari. Allah's apostle said, I have been ordered to fight with the people till they say, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah.
Clarifying the religion of submission, the Führer shared, Mein Kampf 602, authority is an end in itself, a powerful weapon in the service of the great struggle, a weapon to which everyone has to submit. Hitler, the 20th century's most evil criminal, told us that authority, Islam's submit and obey, was the purpose of his crusade. He told us that the pelagius doctrine of Mein Kampf was a weapon, and that the ultimate goal was Islam, submission. Because we did not listen then, the world was covered in blood. Mein Kampf 602. Therefore, in the fight for the new conception of a pelagius doctrine, which corresponds to the primal meaning of things, the pure religion of man, we will find fighting comrades. Mein Kampf 603. If an active force appears united towards one goal, this minority will rise to become the master of the world. World history is made by determined minorities. In the presumption of our victory, the best fighters will be found. This is among the most important passages in Mein Kampf. It explains what happened in Mecca, in Munich, and in Moscow, and what will happen in America. Religiously inspired, a minority will impose their religious doctrines on the majority. The presumption of victory justifies their ruthless tactics. Muslims represented less than 3% of the Meccan population during Muhammad's day, and yet they conquered the Quraysh, stealing their liberties. Only 3% of Germans were Nazis in the late 1920s when Hitler rose to power. Yet they destroyed their nation and much of the world. Barely 3% of Russians were communists during Lenin's revolution, yet they managed to enslave and impoverish nearly 1 billion people for 80 years. 3% of Americans today call themselves Muslims. Speaking of Jewish children, the Fuhrer plagiarizes Allah. Mein Kampf 606. In the folkish state, we will lift marriage out of race degradation in order to consecrate the image of the Lord and not the deformities of men who are half ape. Mein Kampf 640. It would be a criminal absurdity to train a half ape to become a lawyer against the will of the eternal Creator. The most talented beings denigrate in the proletarian swamp, while the Negroes are trained for intellectual vocations.
Koran 2, verse 64. But you,
Jews,
went back on your word and were lost losers. So become apes, despised and hated. We made an example out of you.